Grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and welcome to the Cozy English Podcast, your slow, safe space to learn English naturally. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. Here, we don't rush. We speak clearly, we talk about real things, and we help you build your English confidence one conversation at a time.
Today is a special, longer episode because today we are talking about the biggest question every single language learner asks. How do I actually succeed?
It is the million-dollar question, right? Because people study for years. They buy the heavy grammar textbooks, they download 5 different apps on their phones, they memorize lists of vocabulary, and they still feel like they are failing.
Exactly. And that happens because most of us have been taught the wrong definition of success from the very beginning. We are trained to treat language like a math test, but today we're going to change that. We are giving you a complete step-by-step blueprint. We're going to break down the 4 pillars of real English success.
So, since this is a longer episode, if you are going for a long walk right now, or if you are cleaning your house or driving to work, you're in the perfect place. Let's dive in.
Before we build our 4 pillars of success, we have to clear the ground first. We have to talk about why so many intelligent, hardworking people feel like they are failing at English. Leo, I know this is something you have struggled with personally.
Oh, definitely. For years, I carried around this heavy feeling that I was just bad at languages. I used to think that success meant sounding exactly like an American news anchor or a British actor. I thought it meant having 0 accent, no grammar mistakes ever. If I was talking to a tourist and I used the wrong verb tense, I would replay that conversation in my head for 3 days, feeling so embarrassed.
And that breaks my heart, because that is a complete myth. Perfection is an illusion. Success in English is not perfection. Success is connection.
Success is connection. I really like how that sounds, but what does that actually look like in real everyday life?
It looks like ordering a coffee in London and getting exactly what you asked for. It looks like laughing at a funny story with a native speaker, even if your grammar was a little messy when you told your part of the story. It is simply about moving an idea from your brain into someone else's brain. If the idea lands and they understand you, you succeeded.
That takes so much pressure off my shoulders. When I look back, I was actually communicating my ideas quite well, but I was calling myself a failure just because I paused to find a word or because I had an accent.
Exactly. Your accent is just proof that you speak more than one language. It is a badge of honor. Once you accept that the goal is human connection, the fear starts to melt away.
Now that we have dropped the need to be perfect, we can look at the first pillar of our blueprint. The mindset shift. If you want to truly succeed, you have to stop being a student of English.
Wait, stop being a student? But isn't that why our listeners are here? They want to study.
Yes, but a student views English as an academic subject, like algebra or chemistry. A subject has strict rules, stressful tests, and grades. But language is not a school subject. Language is a tool for living.
Ah, I see what you mean. When I was a student, I would sit at my desk for 2 hours writing down grammar rules, but if someone stopped me on the street to ask for directions, my mind went completely blank. I knew the rules, but I couldn't use the tool.
Exactly. A successful learner shifts from studying English to living in English. You stop saying, I need to study English for an hour today. Instead, you weave it into the things you already love doing.
So connecting the language to my actual life. If I love playing video games, I should play them with English audio and subtitles. If I love fitness, I should follow fitness instructors on YouTube who speak English.
Yes, change your phone's operating system to English. Read your daily news in English. If you like cooking, look up recipes in English. When you do this, English becomes the vehicle to get what you want, not a boring destination you are forced to travel to. This transition from studying to living brings us perfectly into Pillar 2, massive input. Your brain needs data before it can produce results.
Input means reading and listening, right? The information coming into your brain?
Yes, to succeed, you need hundreds, even thousands of hours of input. But here is the secret. It cannot just be any input. It has to be what linguists call comprehensible input.
What does comprehensible mean? Does it mean I have to understand every single word?
Not every word, no. It means you understand about 70 to 80% of what you are hearing or reading. The message makes sense to you, even if some vocabulary is new. If you try to watch a complicated political debate or a fast-paced medical drama and you only understand 20%, your brain will shut down. It becomes white noise.
Oh, I have definitely done that. I tried to read Shakespeare when I was at an elementary level. I thought it would make me smart. It was a disaster. I spent 20 minutes on one page looking up words in a dictionary, and then I just fell asleep.
That is a perfect example of input that is not comprehensible. You need to find podcasts, books, and YouTube videos that are just slightly above your current level. You understand the main story, and your brain naturally guesses the meaning of the new words based on the context.
So, if you are listening to this podcast right now and you understand most of what Mia and I are discussing, you are doing it right. This is comprehensible input. You're absorbing the grammar and vocabulary naturally without a textbook.
Now, once you have filled your brain with all that wonderful input, we arrive at Pillar 3, fearless output. This means speaking and writing, taking the language out of your head and into the real world.
And this is the most terrifying part. This is where the fear of making a mistake completely paralyzes people. I used to physically sweat when a native speaker looked at me and waited for a reply.
It is a very real, very physical fear, but you cannot learn to swim just by watching YouTube videos of swimming. You can watch 100 videos, but eventually you have to get in the water.
Okay, but how do we get in the water safely? How do we start outputting without having a panic attack?
You start with low-stakes environments. A high-stakes environment is a job interview in English or giving a presentation to 100 people. A low-stakes environment is talking to yourself in the shower, or talking to your dog, or leaving a 1-minute voice memo for yourself on your phone.
I actually used to do something like this. I kept a very simple evening journal. Before bed, I would write 3 sentences, just things like, "Today I ate a good pizza. The weather was raining. I felt tired." It felt silly at the time, but it forced my brain to actively pull the English words out of my memory.
It isn't silly at all. Those simple sentences are building the physical neural pathways in your brain. You are training the road between your memory and your mouth. And once you feel comfortable speaking to yourself, you find language exchange partners online, people who are also learning. They won't judge your mistakes because they are making mistakes too. Our final pillar is the glue that holds this entire blueprint together. Without this pillar, the other 3 will fall down. Pillar 4 is micro-consistency.
Micro, meaning very small, right? Small consistency.
Yes, the biggest, most damaging mistake language learners make is what I call the weekend binge. They are too busy to study from Monday to Friday, so they promise themselves they will study for 5 hours on Saturday.
I am raising my hand right now. I am completely guilty of the weekend binge. You drink 3 cups of coffee, you highlight everything in your textbook, you feel incredibly productive on Saturday, but by Tuesday, you have forgotten absolutely everything.
Exactly, because human memory does not work like a computer hard drive. Your brain needs daily, repeated exposure to convince itself that this language is important for your survival. Success is not 5 hours on Saturday. Success is 15 minutes every single day.
15 minutes is nothing. Everyone, no matter how busy they are, has 15 minutes. You can listen to an English podcast on the train to work. You can read a short article while drinking your morning tea.
That is micro-consistency. It beats massive, exhausting effort every single time. It builds a daily habit. And when something becomes a habit, it doesn't require willpower anymore. Habits are what create true fluency. We are moving toward the end of our episode. But Leo, it is time for our Honest Talk segment. We need to tell our listeners the truth about the journey ahead.
I think this is my favorite part of the show because learning English is not a straight line pointing up. It is bumpy and sometimes it goes down.
Right. I want to talk about the intermediate plateau, that heavy, frustrating feeling when you are at a B1 or B2 level and you feel like you have completely stopped improving. You feel stuck in the mud. Have you experienced that?
Oh, absolutely. When you're a total beginner, every single day is exciting. You learn how to say apple and thank you, and you feel like a genius. The progress is so fast. But when you reach the intermediate level, that fast progress disappears. I spent almost 2 years feeling like my English was frozen. I used the same basic vocabulary every day. I felt like I wasn't getting any better, and I seriously wanted to quit.
And that is the exact moment when most people do quit. What helped you break through that plateau?
I realized I wasn't actually stuck. I was just bored. I was consuming the same standard English learning materials over and over, so I changed my input entirely. I love psychology and space exploration, so I started watching documentaries and reading blogs about psychology and space, all in English. It forced me to learn new, complex words naturally because I desperately wanted to understand the topic.
That is the ultimate secret to the plateau. When you feel stuck, do not study harder. Change the topic. Make the language interesting again. Challenge your brain with new ideas, not just new grammar rules. Your English isn't frozen, it is just waiting for a fresh challenge. Let's wrap up this long, beautiful episode with our vocabulary review. Since this is a deep dive, we have 10 essential words and phrases from today's blueprint. Let's make sure they stick in your memory.
Word 1. Blueprint. A detailed plan or guide on how to build or achieve something.
Example, today we gave you the complete blueprint for English success.
Word 2. Myth. A widely held but completely false belief or idea.
Example, the idea that you must have a perfect native accent is a dangerous myth.
Word 3. Vehicle. In this context, it isn't a car. It means a tool or method used to achieve something else.
Example, English becomes the vehicle to learn about your favorite hobbies and interests.
Word 4. Comprehensible. Something that is clear enough to be understood.
Example, to improve your listening skills, you need comprehensible input, not movies that are too fast and difficult.
Word 5. Stakes. The level of risk, pressure, or importance in a situation.
Example, talking to your dog is a low-stakes environment. A university interview is high stakes.
Word 6. Neural. Relating to a nerve or the physical nervous system in your brain.
Example, practicing speaking every day builds strong neural pathways in your mind.
Word 7. Binge. Doing a huge amount of an activity in a very short amount of time.
Example, a weekend study binge will exhaust you and won't help your long-term memory.
Word 8. Plateau. A state of little or no change after a period of rapid progress.
Example, do not give up when you hit the intermediate plateau. It is a normal part of the journey.
Word 9. Badge of honor. A mark or expression of pride.
Example, your accent shows you speak multiple languages. It is a badge of honor.
Word 10. Paralyze. To make someone unable to act or function, often due to fear.
Example, do not let the fear of making a mistake paralyze you during a conversation. And that brings us to your action steps for today. We want you to take action right now. Step 1, Change your mindset. Stop treating English like a school subject and find one way to live in it today. Step 2, find 15 minutes today to do something you genuinely enjoy, but do it in English.
And step 3, we want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments what your favorite low-stakes way to practice output is. Do you talk to yourself while driving? Do you sing English songs in the shower? Let us know, because your comment might help another learner who is struggling.
Thank you so much for spending this extra time with us today on the Cozy English Podcast. Remember our rule for today. Success is connection, not perfection. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. Keep practicing, be kind to yourself when you make mistakes, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.